We're gathered here today to mourn the loss of the Gold Coast Suns 2025 season, which is declared dead as of Sunday. This is Two Loose Cannons. I'm Liam.
I'm Ross.
The Gold Coast Suns, the team that I smashed in round, was it 4 or 5 this season? And I said this was going to happen. It's going to come back and bite them on the, tough.
Yeah.
They got their comeuppance on the weekend, didn't they?
You had a point to prove. There was a lot. It was in the build-up. There was a lot of talk about the whole McAndrew and what happened in round whatever it was, 4 or 5, 5th of April, I think it was. And so it was what I expected. I believe I said to you, if you win this game by 10 goals, you're not worth any salt. And you went out there, you proved it. Their kicking was poor. The field kicking was poor. The kicking for goal was poor. They were lost. They were a team that was way out of their depth, and I don't know whether they didn't expect that intensity or they just weren't able just to match it. Obviously, they weren't. They couldn't match it. So the second half, I guess they did a bit better, but I also thought your guys were a little bit selfish in the second half. There were a few open players that you could have easily kicked.
That happens when you get so far from.
Yeah, that's right. And you're spot on. You have the right to have a ping at goal from 50 or from the pockets or whatever. I think, Rankin had a couple of kicks from the pocket he missed, and there was a couple of, and guys were open. Curtin was open one time, I remember. And, guys were kicking it from 45, 50 on the run. Like you say, you have a right. When you're the better half of 11, 12 goals up, yeah.
And look, Nick said in his post-match, and I know you're going to have comments on what he said further on, but he did say that the fact that they were able to straighten up and didn't let them in, because he said the week before against Collingwood, Gold Coast got streets in front and saw what Collingwood did to get back into the game. So they did enough to just continue. And they ended up winning the second half by a goal, considering how, I wouldn't say bad, but they layer on.
Yeah, they went.
That third quarter.
They did. They layer on in the third quarter, but you just straightened up again. Yeah, you straightened up in the last quarter. You put them to the sword and you got back your 10-goal lead. So yeah.
What I was really surprised is, and again, talk about playing groups taking the image of their coach. I don't know if you think Dimmer Hardwick is a sook, but from what I saw and the way he carries on and what I saw out on the field, they're a pack of sooks.
I get the feeling he thinks they should be further along than they actually are. So,
but I mean, so you're getting belted by 5, 6 goals and you're whinging to the umpire every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And, they won enough ball in the midfield to do something.
They did. Rao was good, actually. His game is next level.
Apparently, that was the highest rated game of his career, according to champion data.
Yeah, and he was good, but they just could not. Like, your defense was solid.
Yeah.
You were peeled up time after time. And when they did have an opportunity, they blew them. That was probably, out of those first, what did they kick? 6 goals before they got their first goal? 7 goals? 7 points, something?
Yeah.
6 points, 7 points before they got their first goal. Out of those, 3 were just simple kicks. And there was 2 of them that they probably should have kicked. So it doesn't
surprise me. It was just the lack of connection between their midfield.
Yeah, and their forwards.
You get to this point of the season, you should be connecting a lot better than that if you're going to be in the top 8.
They're not a good road team.
No.
They can look like $1 million at home, like you said, against Collingwood.
In Darwin, Darwin don't mean anyone, anywhere, anytime.
On the road, they're a terrible track.
Yeah.
Like, they just can't play away from home. So this is going to be an interesting watch.
Yeah, they are. Them and the Bulldogs are probably the 2 to really keep an eye on. And Frio's entered that conversation as well as their win.
Yep.
But between those 3, 2 in particular, they're going to be much. Well, you're going to want to keep an eye on their results.
And look, they're probably lucky Gold Coast they got that game against Essendon, because by the time they get to that game, they may need that.
Yeah, they can bank that
to get him in, because Essendon early compared to Essendon now are 2 totally different teams.
Injuries have cruel
absolutely smashed them. So they're probably lucky they do have Essendon in whatever they're going to call that round. But I think they're still going to be 24, but this is Wednesday or something.
What Dimmer Hardwick had declared as their big boy month. They played Collingwood last week, played Crows away, and then next week Brisbane.
Yeah.
I expected them at least to be competitive to begin with.
Well, yeah, they were never going to be competitive. Not in that game. You had too much to prove. To be honest with you, you talked it up. Like the talk here, I don't know if it went anywhere else, but the talk here and the stuff coming out of West Lakes was that you remembered what happened in round.
They marked their calendars.
Yep, they marked the calendars. and they were going to make Gold Coast pay. So if you went out there and you meekly had a 1 or 2 goal lead and only just got over the line, you would have looked silly. So those, luckily for you and the team, they stood up and they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, and you look at the ladder now, with Collingwood losing on the weekend, we're Adelaide are one game away from top spot with
half a game.
A superior percentage. And that game in round 5 against the Gold Coast where we were shafted by the AFL, that has cost us top spot for the time being. So lid is off. Lid is well and truly off, son. Let's get on it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You get on it, mate. Start using the F word, will you? Tell me about how you...
Flagging hell. There we go. Look at that. Look at that, son. Get around us. Get around us. Give us a hug. Come on. Right. That's not coming off until the show's finished. So, you wanted to talk... You got a question, well. I reckon it's your question.
I reckon, yeah. Yeah. So, Tilford versus Gold Coast. Did he underperform? He talked a lot. Talked it up during the week.
Yeah,
about what he was going to do.
He's gotten out because the Crows listed their injuries out of that game, and apparently the night before he was crook as a dog.
Yeah,
and there wasn't surprisingly. Usually, when you hear sickness, you hear about potential late withdrawal, or they play those whispers. There was nothing, so they kept that pretty quiet and pretty tight. And he fronted up and kicked his 2 goals. He kicked his first goal at Max, so that's
true. And he was
it. So
Mac Andrews.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, he was no accountability for that guy.
Yeah, and it begs the question. It had to have been something like food poisoning or something, because if it was any sort of virus or
you don't get him around the playing group.
You don't keep him anywhere near that group. So it has to be something of an upset or some sort of food.
And for the big dog to be sick,
yeah, the runs, mate.
It's not
running down his legs.
It's not like him.
It was running out from under his chin. You could see it. It was just stuff dribbling.
Oh, mate, sounds like you're dribbling. So, I don't know if you want to ask this question. Got a good question that involves me.
Well,
and it was around the fake tough comments from the Suns.
Yeah. So Hurdy said he used the fake tough to describe the Suns and Mac Andrew.
Yeah.
But you did that back in April.
Yeah.
So why has it taken so long?
Do you know what? I don't know.
To get to this point about the Gold Coast. Because we've been saying that fake tough for a while.
First of all, someone from Channel 9, a producer or something, has watched our podcast along the way and has gone, oh, yeah.
They are fake tough.
They are fake tough. And maybe they've only just seen it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's been fed to, because let's face it, half these people that are in the footy media, they don't do the research themselves. They get other people to do it.
Yeah.
And it was like the time where I sent you the link. We talked about Dawson, both of us.
Yeah.
Moving forward, spending more time outside the midfield while he was ineffective.
Yeah.
And 2 days later, the advertiser, was it Matthew Turner? I think it was Matthew Turner from the advertiser, writes it up. So, we might only have 50 to 100 people watching us each week, but we've got some influential people.
They're important people.
Yeah. But yeah, look, good question, because why has it taken it so long?
Well,
and this isn't about us anymore. This is, we've seen it. We've talked about it, I think, for about 5 or 6 weeks around that period there where they played the Crows and you had Mac Andrew carrying on like an absolute shook after the match. And I kept an eye on them in particular. And I kept bringing it up. It was so noticeable. Yeah. And then on the weekend, you've got Ben Ainsworth, throwing his weight around, talking trash to Jake Saligo when they're down in the last quarter by 10 goals.
Yeah.
That's fake tough. Nothing really to add, though, is there? I mean, it's correct.
The only thing I was going to say is that they probably use other, like downhill skiers or flat track bullies.
Yeah.
We've decided to go with the fake tough. But they all mean the same thing.
Yeah, they do. But I think with the Suns, it's, because they come out, talked about the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
That's where the
bad boys.
Yeah, the bad boys, the toughness. They want to be tough. They want to be gritty.
Yeah.
But when it's forced and when it's to the point where
if it's not
overdoing it,
that's right.
Yeah, then it comes across as disingenuous.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where it's at. And when you can't back it up, when you're 70 odd to 5 down at three, midway through the third quarter, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You're supposed, your ladder position suggests that you're fighting for a top 4 position. Show some fight. And your coach has come out the last 4 weeks and said, this is big boy month. So get to it.
They're not losers. I don't know if you saw Divo in the box. He was not a happy camper. He smashed his laptop.
See, and that's what I mean. It's childishness, and it's rubbing off on them.
Yeah. Well, at the end of it all, they're absolutely. Their coach and the persona of that team are not in any way near each other.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing about Hardwick. He wasn't fake tough.
No. And he backed it up via action.
Yeah.
But, when you've got a group that, and there's no doubt about this, they were soft with him coming in. And he has hardened them up, but I don't think you can go from being soft to being a real hardened team overnight.
Yeah,
it takes time and it takes that progression. And it feels like they've tried to go from, I don't know, second gear of toughness up to try to drive an overdrive.
Yeah.
And it's not working until, they can find out what toughness actually is.
Well, look, I think their attitude is you're not going to push us around.
Yeah.
And they're never going to get any respect by saying you're not going to push us around because,
and they're falling into that trap. And
I mean, look at Sicily. Now, we talked about this earlier, and I don't know where to put him out. James Sicily, I have a lot of time for that bloke. When Hawthorn were on their knees, he was the only bloke standing up, and he was never fake tough. But then I watch him on the weekend. I watch him against us. You made the comment we leave free in his head.
Rent free.
He's just giving away stupid free kicks for no reason. Double goals are happening. Like, this is the captain of his side. And someone, I don't know if Mitchell's pulled him aside and said, mate, enough's enough, or whether they just love what he does and just let him do it.
Yeah, I think they just let him go.
But he's not leading the way for that team.
It feels like this year because, there was a period particularly where he was really exposed as backman. So they had no choice but to play him more permanently as forward. Because remember, they were doing that split where, they'd throw him up forward for a burst. And a bit like the old Adam Hunter from West Coast role. But I think he's lost in, they're not where Hawthorn wants to be this year. They thought, they were on the cusp of pushing up.
Yeah.
Where Brisbane and Collingwood are this year. It just has not worked for them.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's overcompensating again, trying to be you can't bully us sort of role. And it's just it's again disingenuous.
Yeah, it is. Well, speaking of Sooks, what do you think of Craig McRae's post press conference after the loss?
It was an interesting one. First of all, he's sniffy at the media, and then he's telling an opposition coach they should play a different way because they look better. And he's the losing coach. Yeah, it was it was interesting.
Yeah.
But
I thought the most interesting thing about it was that they did what they had to do. Like, I watched most of that last quarter. I thought, here we go. How are the umpires going to get Collingwood out of this? And they tried everything. Absolutely tried everything. And I'll give them full credit, the umpires. They tried to get Collingwood over the line. But that resilience, that Fremantle lockdown, play boring, slow it up, don't give them nothing, not even a meter, is what they had to do. Because if they tried to run and gun, I guarantee you they would have lost that game.
Yeah.
So you do what you got to do to win the game. Now, that's Collingwood's problem if you can't handle that.
Yeah.
So, but did you see did you find the tactic interesting where they were tackling them to the ground and then backing off so that they had to get rid of the ball so it didn't become a stoppage, it become a ball up?
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's a ball up, the clock stops, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, that just seemed a bit odd, but then the guy could almost lay there and just hold the ball until the tackler
come at him. So it's
because if you're not tackling him, it's not holding the ball. No. He's allowed to hang on to that ball as long as he wants. So, it just seemed very odd. And it was side bottom did it first, and then one of I think it was Nick Dacos did it. As soon as the Fremantle player handballed it off, Dacos tackled him and then backed off. Look, and it just looks so odd. Like, it's just like, What is going on?
And Collingwood, and there's no secret behind their success of winning those tight games. They're drilled to the nth degree in those game-closing situations.
Yeah.
And they were lauded last year of how they burned time off the clock. So that was, I mean, it's well thought out. It was well coached, but it's ugly, isn't it? It's just doesn't look good when you watch the game going.
I thought it was
what the hell?
I thought it was a bit rich in itself. The winning coach had to play. Stick to just one.
But I mean, we've said off camera before we even did this podcast for many years, Fremantle look their most dangerous when they run.
Of course they do, and most teams do.
Yeah.
You look at any team, and they were the most.
But there's no excuse for Fremantle, because you look at that midfield that they've got, and they are electric. They could be electric, but it's like they're choosing to just play in second gear until they're given the run to go.
I agree with you, Liam, but it's nothing wrong with having a couple of strings.
Yeah, I know, but
because you've got to be able to shut a game down when you need to shut it. And that was like almost 4 minutes of them just absolutely shut the game down. And it was just, and I just sat there thinking, it's just a matter of time. You're going to get done here. You've got to do something. You've got to do something. And they just locked them down and just played that almost perfectly.
Yeah.
To the point where it just frustrated Colin.
But I still think, because they play so defensively, it gives the opposition a chance to.
Of course, it always gives a chance
on them.
Yeah, of course.
And so they probably dropped a couple of games this year that they should have won, could have won.
Yeah.
But because they've given the opposition a chance by not really going at the throat, putting teams away, you know, their own worst enemy. And that's why, you know, Kingy has come out strong against Longmuir. The smart footy people know that way that they're playing is not the way that you can win a fight.
Yeah.
And look, I do agree. You've almost got to have a couple of strings to the bow. Be a Swiss Army knife team to win a flag sometimes.
And that can switch it in game.
They can.
That's the thing with them.
They can still have that up their sleeve. And again, they could be like a bit like Collingwood and bring that out when it's game-saving situations because it's tried, it's trained, it's proven for them. Then roll it out when it's time. Yeah. Well, so stay on the coaching theme. I've got a quick question about Ken.
Yeah.
What was that question?
So did you hear that?
The
Melbourne game.
Yeah.
He was down on the bench, and him and Gorney had an altercation. And the story goes that that's why he went back up to the box, because he was ordered back up to the box by the AFL so that he wouldn't have player interactions.
Yep.
Opposition player interactions. Now I only just found that out today because the question was asked of him and he just scoffed at it and then moved on.
Yep.
So the story's taken a while to come out.
So do you think that the AFL's fearful of Ken because Ken, he knows he's on a
that's it. He's got 5 games.
And the AFL are actually worried that he's going to cause a bit of chaos through the last 5 games.
He's got 5 games to go.
He's not going to go out and poke in the bear, is he?
Well, you know what? He's got nothing to lose if that's what he wants to do. I don't think he will.
No.
I honestly don't think. I don't think that's in his temperament. But I could see him taking a few swipes on the way out the door.
Look, I get that because hasn't there been history between Gawn and Ken and the way Ken has coached against Gawn?
It's hard,
yes, there was times where Port were fantastic at targeting Gawn.
Yeah.
Gawn had his worst games against you guys.
Yeah.
So maybe Gawn has sort of said something along the lines of, mate, you're not getting a retirement card for me after the game. And Ken's bitten back.
Yeah. Look, from what I heard, it was
I'm sure the AFL's a little bit disappointed that Ken's not coaching on next year because they can't promote that.
Well, the interesting thing is that if that is the case, then this is the third case that we know of where they've gone behind, like they've got Rioli case, the Bailey Smith case, and now that if it's true, Hinkley, that they've gone basically to his house and said, "Hey, mate, you need to go back up to the box."
So you reckon Andrew Dillon went out to Ken's house?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But that's his style. Let's go out. Let's keep this quiet. Let's it's almost mafia like.
So why not? Yeah, well, true. Yeah, why not just come out and say, "Look, enough. You can't be trusted out of Andrew to keep your nose out of other people's business. How about you head up to the box?"
Rumor has it that Dillon has sent out a special package to Kari. Left it on his bed. It's a horse's head.
Nice. So what about Tassie, mate? Did you see any of that game? Did you see the wind, the rain?
I didn't see the game, but I saw
Ovals,
highlights.
muddy. It was just
I was wondering why the highlights package wasn't so large. Conditions
were just horrible.
Yeah. It's getting to that stage where, it's the AFL's right. I mean, it's hard to mount a case that Tassie doesn't. It definitely needs a roof on its stadium, because all the games that are played this year have been affected by weather, night or day. Even when it didn't rain, and that was the Crows Hawks game, it was like an ice rink. So
that's right.
They definitely need something to keep the conditions out, because Channel 7 pays huge rights for the game. You're adding another game to their broadcast.
Yeah.
You've got to make it watchable. And that's the argument is it's a winter sport.
Yeah.
You deal with what the conditions give you. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, I understand that. But also from the neutral perspective, I'm not tuning in to watch a game that's 44-40. Because
you're right. You don't know. You're
atrocious.
Yeah, exactly.
I only stuck through that Hawks Crows game because it's my team. But if that's two neutral teams, man, I'm tuning out after 10 minutes.
Well, the interesting thing is that it is truly, for those two teams, Hawthorn and North Melbourne, it is truly a home ground advantage.
Yeah.
Because they go down there, they trade.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a home ground advantage. What the issue is it's about watchability. And you can't have you can't showcase that every single week.
No.
Or every second week.
Okay. You're right. But we're going to have to put up with it, because that stadium isn't getting built straight away. And they've already said they're going to go between Launceston and Hobart for at least 2-3 years until that new stadium is built. So you're going to have to put up with it for at least until about 2030. Yeah. Probably.
Are you fans whingers? Are we? This is a question off those fans. We're whingers.
Well, I think back in my, you grew up, okay, you're not as old as I am, but back in my day,
the bog pits,
you rolled up, and that's exactly what it was. They were bog pits, mate. And there was times when you couldn't even tell who was who, because they were just covered in so much mud, you didn't know, which player was which.
Yeah.
Now, I think the game is better for not having grounds like that anymore, definitely. But that was the true home ground advantage.
Because, you could draw this again. We talk about it the last couple of weeks, fan IQ.
Yeah.
We should accept that conditions are how they are. It's just, again, it's a winter sport, and is it a case that we are too pampered? And
when I was playing for Woodville, when I was playing under 18s for Woodville, first match was at Prospect. Now, I'd never seen Prospect. I didn't even know what Prospect was. I was just told to rock up at Prospect. Have you ever been to Prospect, Doug?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That place is just... Even on a bright sunny day, it's dark, it's cold, it's like you said, nice.
The parking is not... It's not fantastic to even get in there. So you're off to a bad start before you even get in the ground.
Yeah. So, I mean... And I've been to a lot of ovals around, playing amateurs and stuff, like Prospect for a semi-professional, call their SANFL teams what you want.
Yeah.
My God, how that place has still stayed open and they still play games there is amazing to me, because it does not feel like a place you should be playing footy.
No, not as
freezing there, mate.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's move on to your favourite subject.
Before we go, just because we talked about fan IQ, before we come on air, I want to clip this dude. And this is bringing it back to the Crows again.
Okay.
That Crow supporter that was on 5AA and basically said that he called out Tim Silvers, called out Matthew Nicks.
Yeah.
Who else did he call out? John Olsen. And the Crows are going very well. No one predicted them to jump from 14th to one win off first position by round 19.
Yep.
This dude has literally called out Tim Silvers for backing Matthew Nicks in. He's called out Matthew Nicks for his coaching. And he's called out Olsen for backing in the club, Tim Silvers and Matthew Nicks.
Mm.
What the hell are supporters doing?
Because what they
enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
They're up the top. Yeah. If they don't end up flagging up, look, the sky's not going to fall in.
That's right.
They're not.
But
they weren't expected to be in this position. Yes, it's a free hit. Yes, I know, but those expectations are unfair. They shouldn't be there. It's okay to dream. It's fine. But if it breaks your heart, that's fine.
It's just 7 years of disappointment. And they can almost taste it, but they're fearful of the
But
what
what
happens
they're doing
if it
is,
doesn't?
they are fearful. I understand that. But, you've got to let it play out. You've got to see where it goes. You can't be thinking this negatively this quickly. And, if they get knocked out in straight sets, sure, you're going to cop stuff from across town because that's what we did when you guys went out in straight sets.
Yeah.
But it's not end of the world. They've made progression by making.
You're not going out. There's no one in that bottom four who I think could knock you out.
Yeah. But
Now, could you lose to a Brisbane or a Collingwood or a Geelong?
Very possibly.
You guys are probably going to be the top four, won't you?
Yeah, likely.
So, yes, maybe. But the way I'm seeing the ladder predictor, it looks like you'll be probably playing Brisbane here. So I think you knock them off and go straight to Rockland.
Okay, let's say we lose because, let's face it, last time they were here, Brisbane were unlucky to lose. If they took some chances in that last quarter, they win.
Yeah.
And then next week, we come up against, I don't know, let's say...
Well, it's not going to be any Hawthorn.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not going to be Hawthorn. It'll be the fifth or... It'll be... Sorry, it'll be 6 or 7.
So GWS, let's say GWS, just for the sake of this exercise, they beat GWS, and let's say it was Collingwood that end up winning their home qualifying final. So then we go to the MCG, play Collingwood, the umpires shaft us, we get eliminated. That's, for me, a tick in the box. Now, you talk American sports and you talk about their winning seasons.
Yep.
That's a winning season. Supporter bases in America can be happy with that.
Yeah.
I think.
But we don't.
No, we don't. We're ruthless here.
We're champion. We either cup up or we don't.
All right. Let's say you guys finish 14th this year.
Yep.
And then it's a little bit different because you guys have been to prelims the last 5 years. But let's say you had a sustained period where you were down for 7 years and then you have that year where you jump up and you make the prelim and you lose the prelim. Are you happy with that? Yes, it's an opportunity lost, but you've made major progressions and a lot hinges on where you go to from there.
Yeah. This goes back to my question to you last week. Do you have another gear? That's my only doubt about you guys. Are you playing as well as you can?
I don't think so.
Have you absolutely peaked?
And
because I think that backline has. I can't see that backline playing any better than that.
No, the backline won't, but it's the midfield. If I showed you the stats from the weekend, the backline highest top possession getter and the number one possession getter for us was Neil Bullen.
Yeah.
Half forward, 31 disposals. That midfield just had somewhere between 15 to 21 disposals between them.
Yeah.
They highlighted on the Crows page today, which I found quite interesting because generally 19 disposal games don't get highlighted, do they?
No.
James Peatling, he got a little graphic on there, 19 disposals and 7 clearances. That's all the midfield had to do was just clear the ball out of there.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, half forwards and the back line did the rest. So there is another gear to go, and it's the midfield. And the caller that followed that other guy reckons that Matt Crouch is the answer, that he's the absolute savior. Oh,
Crouch.
This guy said, Daddy, we went down to West Adelaide, and if we don't call him up, then we're missing out on the flag.
Crouch is not the answer, mate. If they honestly thought Crouch was the answer, he'd be in that team.
He's been out injured. It was his first week back. I don't know if he comes back this week, but I could see him coming back for the Hawthorn game for sure. He does add something that the midfield doesn't have, and that is he does win that first position pretty regularly. And, that's where Peatling at Dawson becomes a better player because then it gives them a chance to burst away because, they're looking for that give. So that's where it does help. And on the weekend, he would have definitely helped against a Rao and an Anderson because they had more crumbs in the vacuum cleaner.
Well, they both played really well,
Yeah.
actually, Rao and Anderson.
And then that's what I mean. For Gold Coast, and we've said this off camera, I don't think they've got another gear, but I think the Crows do.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, it doesn't get much better than putting a team 75. But you have a look at the stats of that game. It was dead level in terms of everything. So if our midfield got on top, God, that game could have been,
I agree with you about Gold Coast. I don't think they...
Yeah.
But their mission here is different to... I won't say yours, because I said to you at the beginning of the year, you'll play finals.
Yeah, we both...
And you were like, I hope so. And,
Yeah, because I'm not going to put my neck out on the line for my team.
Yeah, that's it.
You're hopeful as a supporter.
That's right. Yeah. Their job was just to make finals because they've had 2000, when did they come in? 2011, 2010, 2011. Have never played finals in They're 15.
Yeah,
Yes.
they I mean, they have to. The playing list and where those key cogs are in their careers, they have to.
Yeah.
If it's not, then hard work has failed.
Well, look, mate, they got a tough game against Brisbane coming
Yeah.
up. They got, I mean, they've got some winnable games too. So at the end of it all, it's going to be very interesting to see who takes that eighth.
Yeah.
Place, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Every other year we talk about that battle for eighth spot, and it's between 8th and 14th. This year, it's interesting in the sense that ninth, but it's also interesting where 9 to even 1 now, because I don't think Collingwood are that light years ahead of everyone.
Well, 3-4 weeks ago, they were we're going to be 2.5 games ahead of everybody else, and they so far just give it to us now. And now they're back to the pack.
Yeah,
half a game ahead of Brisbane,
and they have flitted around a bit with their game style. They're trying to be more direct, and I don't think it's working for them.
Yeah,
but they can try that because they're streets ahead, so they could flip back and
they're not streets ahead now.
No. But in terms of that,
when was the last time they lost back-to-back games?
Yeah,
can't
remember.
I was shocked when I saw the end of that game. I was like, oh my God. And Freo, again, they're another team that don't travel well.
No.
So,
don't get that many opportunities at the end. And against the umpires. No. We always say you have to be a 5-goal better side.
They got up for Your favourite subject, Liam.
Oh, here we go.
Were you justified in bagging West Coast and Harley Reid? It's come out that Harley Reid over the last 6 weeks has been the lowest ranked player in the AFL. Lowest ranked. Let me say that again. Lowest ranked player in the AFL over the last 6 weeks, Harley.
Look, I don't spend my time watching West Coast. I'd rather watch a movie I don't understand on SBS than watch West Coast play. So I can't really say how Reid has gone. But when I look at the stats line, and again, I'm not looking at effectiveness at all. I'm looking at his disposal count and has he kicked a goal or anything. And he's looked okay in terms of his disposals. So where his lap ranking has gone down, I'd love to know what comes into that. Is it also ranking him against
Chiracs?
Yeah, and also what his opposition player that he's stand up against.
So what his players doing.
So very interesting. But look, we talk about this every year in terms of top draft picks going to crap clubs and what's around them, and he's got a lot of crap around him. That team's going to only win one game for the year. I can't remember.
Well,
that's a season.
I was shocked at that game on the weekend. I tipped him, as you all know, my final shot. I actually was confident. Even in my footy tips. Okay, the final shot is about picking an upset, basically. Yeah. But when I saw that score against Richmond, I was absolutely blown away. I thought, how could this team, after playing so well against us, go home and put in a performance like that against Richmond? So
there's no excuse for this West Coast side either, because there is a ton of experience in that team. They went out and recruited a lot of experience.
Yeah,
players that have been in premierships. Now you go back and you look at the GWS young team, Gold Coast young team, when they first came in the competition, and they put in better efforts than what West Coast are now.
Yeah,
they are a shambles of an organisation that's headed by someone who I don't rate at all in football circles, Don Pike.
Yeah,
and I'll say to the cows come home.
You hate him.
I do, and it's the arrogance that flows through. And I could imagine he's in the top going, we're a young list. We'll improve. Nothing to see here. And he'd be putting his arms around, which, look, when you're in that position, you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But it would be in an arrogant sense that, hey, we're doing nothing wrong here. We're just if they think that they're going to be deserving of an assistance package at the end of the year, and if the AFL is stupid enough to give them an assistance package, the AFL need a swift kick up the arse, because those assistance packages are supposed to be teams that perennially shit. Okay?
Yeah.
So West Coast have had a flag in recent years. Now, when North, where they were a couple of years ago, and they got their help from the AFL, I didn't agree with that either.
Yeah.
But I can live with it by the fact that North haven't had any success recently. You know, you have to go back to what, 1999? Yeah. So West Coast, you know, they'll be putting their hand up for it too. They will absolutely be putting up.
I always try. It's no harm in us.
It's list sabotage. You know, Kane Corns was on their back. We were on their back years ago. Going, why are they not seeing the signs that this is an aging list that needs to start pumping some youth in?
Yep.
They've allowed themselves to become what they are today. You know, I understand the AFL wants an even competition, but you can't reward self-sabotage, can you?
No, you can't. No, but I think, are we at that point where they look at it and go, are we beyond the self-sabotage now? That was 5 years ago. You know.
Look what Richmond have done. Kudos to Richmond. So
you're right.
They're the flip side to your final shot game. Yeah. And, you know, they had no...
Spot on. Yeah.
I'm going to say no right to win that because they're super, super young.
Yeah.
You know, they don't travel much either. So they're going away 5 hours to Western Australia on a plane to play a team that should beat Richmond. They've set themselves up. They've had one win all season. This is West Coast's big chance to win another game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to compromise West Coast's big one. So they can have a free swing at Richmond and get probably their last win of the season.
Yeah.
And Richmond go over there and they get the job done. Win number 5 now.
Yeah.
Well done, Richmond. Because they have taken the medicine. They understand what they need. They didn't dwell on it. They went out and they got their youth.
Yeah.
And they're now prepared to take their licks. They're prepared to go through the cycle because that's what AFL's about. And, you know, when we were down the bottom and you were laughing at us for being wooden spooners in 2020, what did I tell you? This is what's required. This is what you need to get to the top. And, you know, you can sit in the middle of the table for 10 to 15 years and you might get lucky. And like what the Crows were in 2017 and get yourself to a grand final. And maybe you're lucky enough to nick a flag. But the system rewards you bottoming out.
I just think you were lucky that the Bulldogs decided they wanted Jamara over Tilthorpe. That's all.
If the Crows had any inkling,
you could be looking at a different scenario.
Because I can 100% guarantee if the Crows had any inkling that the Bulldogs weren't going to match that offer for Hugo Hagen, they're not making that bid. They made that bid on knowledge that they were desperate to make that bid. You know, they lined that up, you know, a couple of years out.
Sliding door moment, I'm telling you.
No doubt about it. Because if Hugo Hagen's available, the Crows are taking Tilthorpe.
Could you imagine Tilthorpe in that forward line for the Bulldogs?
Well, let's put it this way. No, because he would be playing at the Bulldogs. He might not be the Hulk. He might not have that beard at the Bulldogs.
Oh, that's true.
Look, I'll say it. The culture that the Crows have set out is outstanding. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, how many players are leaving there?
Yeah.
So I
don't know why.
Hugo Hagen, it's who sits at the top.
That's right.
So yeah, different cultures.
Yeah. And the club seems to want to back him in, and you know, Bevo, good on him.
So are you on board now? Are you on board that West Coast are absolute rank?
No, because I still think they've got upside. I don't think they're going to be sitting.
What's the upside though? Tell me what's the upside.
They will build.
What's the pieces that they can bank on?
Some of those kids will start to come through.
Who?
And they will improve.
Who? Apart from Reed, who?
Well, Reed's gone.
Because you could talk about Richmond, right? And you could name 5 or 6 players that you know that they're gonna be players. But at West Coast, they're playing young kids.
Yeah.
But who are their stars? Who are they going to be?
Yeah.
You can't see.
Their stars are aging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the Crows were bottom and we were coming through, I could identify the 5-6 players in 5 or 6 years were going to be players. I look at West Coast, and again, to be fair, as I said, I don't watch a lot of their games. But again, I still look at the stat sheets and I'm not seeing the players that are going to be their core. Because they're investing still too heavily in Liam Baker, worst kick in the AFL. You know, Jack Graham, Liam Ryan, where's he gone?
Yeah. Well, he's injured. So,
Yeah.
anyway, let's move on.
Yep. Agreed. So I think that's all the footy done.
Yep.
All right. So you got an Opals question.
Well, they won the Opals won the Asian Championship. So is that
Well
big
done.
deal, no deal?
It's a well done,
So well done.
but
Okay.
in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter.
Does it matter or
Yeah,
doesn't?
does it matter?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, for those
Until they can beat the
play-
US, no.
Yeah, right. Because they'll go play the US, and the US will win by 34.
That's right.
Caitlin Clark will put up 60.
Yeah. So you're right. Until they can beat the US and they can take a gold medal in a World Cup or a Olympics, an Asian, I'd expect us to be dominating at Asian Cup level.
Yeah.
So for me, the Opals winning it is a spot on.
And it's not a male-female thing, so let's get that out of the way. Because if the Boomers go...
Boomers won the Asian Cup,
Yeah.
let's be saying the same thing. Well, what have you done at the Olympics or the World Championships?
Exactly.
So,
and you look at the talent pool in Asia and you go, okay, Japan, China, loss.
Maybe Taiwan.
Philippines want to be there.
Philippines throw hands. Kicks.
Yeah, fly kicks. Oh, man, we had that. Oh, God, that show a couple of weeks ago that didn't go to air.
Yeah.
You know, you guys would have loved that. We actually rolled in that fight and I had that clipped ready to go. Oh,
We might have to redo that one.
yeah. I might see if I can slide the thumb, make a fly kick.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, yeah.
But yeah, and this isn't a
No, it's not.
It's
not a
great.
sex thing.
and I think it's, it's something to pin on, something to pin to be proud of. But going into an Asian Championship, the Opals are ranked second in the world. So, there's only one team above them, and that's the US. So I'd expect them to win the Asian Championship.
Yeah.
Because they go in as favourites.
Okay. Yeah. And look, can we compare that to say soccer? Do you care about the Asian Cup when the Socceroos or the Matildas are playing? Because the Matildas are going to have a home Asian Cup very soon. But
yeah.
The
difference is I think at least we know the men's and the women's that the Asian for soccer the Asian region is fairly decent. It's not like with the basketball.
No, it's competitive.
It's competitive. Yeah, both sides, male and female in the soccer, is competitive. Yes, so that's a bit more difficult.
And let's face it. I mean, when it comes to basketball, national team, apart from the Olympics, nobody cares.
No.
The World Cup maybe, because I think that's the precursor, like the year before.
Yeah, that's right.
But even the US don't send down full string to that.
No.
So
it's the Olympics and bust. That's it. That's the only thing anybody really worries about.
And to be truthful, that's the way it should be. So these little campaigns like the Asian Cup are great because it can help identify talent to drive. But again, I couldn't tell you who played for the Opals. I can't tell you.
No, that's spot on.
Yeah, who will likely be in that team for the Olympics. So it's necessary, but and well done. They did their job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was good effort, and nothing. It never hurts to have a trophy.
No.
Do you want to touch on the cricket quickly?
Yeah. Does Jason Horn? Not
Jason Horn.
Maybe that's where he's gone. He's off to Fraser. Jason Fraser would go again. He's got 2 surnames. Has he got pictures of the selectors, compromising pictures?
Don't know how he can't play. He's not even in the soccer team, and yet he's made the Australian team. I have no idea how this even works. So, obviously they think, and he has got talent. Let's face it, the kid's got talent.
He does.
And you know what? You chuck him in there. If you're going to do it, you do it against the West Indies. In the West Indies, give the guy a chance.
But he's had an extended period.
Throw the bat.
He's had an extended period at international level, and he's again dismissal this morning against the West Indies. Flat bat to mid off.
Yeah.
That's a carbon copy of his last 6, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And it seems to be when he gets a score underneath 10, he just goes to that flat bat under, try to clear mid off and straight to mid off. And
I think they want him to be the next Warner, and he's got the talent to be the next Warner, but he's just not. He's not coming through it.
No. And I would prefer that they stick with Constance in the test arena because I can see, and I believe again, because he's performed at domestic level, that he will get there. With Fraser McGurk not scoring runs at domestic level, I've got no faith that he's going to get there until I see him perform at domestic level.
Well, even at the IPL, he sort of was.
This year, bad one.
Yeah, he didn't have a
No,
great year.
the year before in the IPL.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you can justify when he's doing that in the IPL, then let's see what he can do for Australia. But I don't know what it is. Is it, because he struggled for Victoria before he came here. That's why he come to South Australia.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's at the point now, has he gone back to that same mindset where he doesn't feel confident? It's a very scratchy start. It's not hitting out the gates fast. What was it, 4 off 9 or something?
Yeah,
so it's not as if he's scoring quickly and then getting out. He's getting stuck.
Yeah,
and that's where the pressure comes in. That just
maybe he's overthinking. I don't know.
Yeah,
or he gets bogged down and he starts to doubt himself. You could be spot on there.
All right. Well, it's time for you to make your final shot, son.
Well, my final
shot.
Off. Here we go. So I was shocked to see Carlton beat Melbourne. So I'm going to go Melbourne a rebound against St Kilda this week. So my final shot is Melbourne.
St Kilda haven't been bad, so that'll be a test.
It will be a
Melbourne.
test, yep.
It should be that's actually a very, very good game. Yeah,
it's at Marvel. So yeah.
Melbourne haven't played much at Marvel.
I just think that if they're going to be worth anything, they need to rebound.
You have stuck your neck out on the line there, so I'll give you kudos there because, St Kilda have played very, very well at Marvel.
Yeah.
And Nazai Wangadeen Malera.
Yeah. Good
watch for both South Australian sides.
Yeah.
I think particularly Port. I think he's gone to Port.
Yeah, he is.
Seeing what he's doing in the midfield, and he's looking good.
Yeah.
It'll be a steal for whoever can get him.
He's not going to be a steal.
No, because it's going to cost a bit to get him out. But I think
top dollar for him.
I think what you'll get out of it, because he's
someone
come out anyway.
Someone came out and said every game he plays and he's in the top 3, he's basically adding 50 grand to a contract. So
yeah, and look, St Kilda still pretty confident that he'll stay. I don't think so because if he's staying, he's signed by now.
Yeah.
So after declaring Gold Coast 2025 season dead at the start of the show, we're going with Gold Coast to beat Brisbane.
Why not? Stick the neck out, right?
Yeah, again, stick the neck out on the line. And if they're serious, if they're worth their weight in
cocky shit.
Yeah, in hockey shit, then they get up and they beat Brisbane.
Yeah.
Brisbane are flying at the moment, so good luck. But again, this is a potential. You like to talk statement games. This is a statement game for them. So drop the fake tough shit. Just go hard in. Again, just play Matthew Rouse highlights to the playing route.
Yeah.
That's what hardness is. He doesn't gob off to anyone. He grabs his blades of grass, shoves it down his neck, and away he goes.
That's
if they follow that template, then that's toughness.
Yeah.
So I don't have to look far.
Yeah.
But if they do look inward, they'll see it and they'll beat Brisbane.
Yeah. Love. I don't think no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What's your joke?
So why do squirrels swim on their back?
What was that?
To keep their nuts dry. Thank you, Paul Talbot. Good night.